Hi everyone, and welcome back to Scrap Addict Creations. I'm Diane, and today we're going to be playing with change of scenery and creating some picture my lifestyle cards. So let's get scrapping. So today I was inspired by the change of scenery paper. And I was kind of looking at it and thinking, I might want some picture my life card type things. So I decided I was going to make some. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use them or how I'm going to use them. I just started kind of playing with them, and I'm hoping that most of this will be usable relatively easy. So I'm going to kind of put these aside real quick. I have the pieces cut to play with. And let's see here. Let's work on a few of the other ones first. Okay. So the first ones that I did were these on this kind of like a, what is this? More of a burlap type paper. And I wanted them really simple. I'm not sure I love how dark this is. It's kind of lightened a little bit. I put dark and light. I'm going to try just putting the second generation on this and see if I like it a little better. That's the nice thing about doing a second round, is that you can see what you like. So the stamps I'm using today is Perfectly Imperfect Patterns. I'm only using this piece right here and this dotted line. And then over here, I'm using almost everything. I don't have the star or these flowers and the change of scenery or the sun. I was going to use the sun, but then I opted not to. But I'm pretty much using everything else. And what's neat is this stamp set works so well with the paper, you know, because it was made together. I did trim along here so that I have this line right here for this piece. The other thing I was thinking is it might be good, because it's got an O and an X here, to kind of switch it around. So let's kind of play with those real quick. I have, like I said, 2 of these. I did only the dotted line on this end. That's the only place I used it. I have Mink, Intense Black, Pine, and Mocha. I don't believe I used any other colors. And then I'm using Dull Green Blend and Earth Brown Blend for my markers. And also there were some trees that I colored, and then I recolored them on something else, and I don't see it right handy. Nope, I don't see it. And I liked how that colored better. So I'm going to do a little bit different of coloring on that. What I like is the mocha on this burlap paper looks so natural. It looks just like stitching. I mean, I did a kind of not perfectly even right there. Apparently my sewing machine jumped at that moment. Okay, so then we have Worth the Pause. And I'm just going to ink this really good. Really, really good. And then I'm going to put it, oh, and I have the back of my mats because I didn't want to have to keep using the little clear piece that comes with the stamp sets. And since I have the mats and I'm pretty much stamping everything, I thought that I could do this. So I am just going to go like this and just hold this there for a sec so that that ink can kind of soak in and do its magic. Okay, beautiful. Love how that looks. Okay, so I'm going to set those 2 stamps over there. And then this one, I'm going to, see, I need to, it's kind of too light. Very torn on this. The other thing I could do would be to grab the smaller one. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll grab the smaller one and I'll put the darker brown mocha colors around it so that you don't really see it over the words as much. So it's a little different there. I added some more in just so it kind of looked intentional. Put these here and right there. I like that better. Okay, so I ended up using the small and the large. I had the small set aside for another project, so that's why I wasn't originally using that. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now, this did kind of change colors, so this is a lot darker. Right now, I believe it's going to be more this color, even though you can't really tell as much of a difference on camera. I can tell it in person, but I really do like this card. Okay, so we've got that one done, and then I'm just going to set these aside, and then I will show them again at the end when we're done. Okay, I need the mountain. These were really fun to play with today. Getting my hands back on some inky stuff. I'm just going to let that sit for a smidge. And pull that off. There we go. Okay, so this one's got the line, and this is, again, the line that I cut off of this stamp. So this was part of this, and I just trimmed it. I also was thinking about maybe cutting these, because then I could center them. But I liked how it looked on here for this one, but I think in the future I will cut these individual words so I can center them if I want to. I do like things centered. Okay, I'm going to go down a little bit. Okay, so we've got the X over there, and I'm going to, hopefully I like this. Put the X over there. Oh, I do like that a little better. And I like that this is not perfectly straight because it's, you know, kind of rustic-y looking. Oh, I like that. I like the X's and the O's different, but I really like this. I didn't add any ink to it aside from the mocha. You could go in and kind of color these, even add some white gel pen if you were doing like kind of like a snowy mountain scene. But I wanted to leave those pure for that one. Okay, so then the next ones I have are these. And these are super duper simple. And let me grab, I think it's this piece, yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to be using pine for this one. Oops, I had to look at something. Okay, get that inked up really good. Okay, that center part, it's got kind of like a little rusticy look to it, which is great and not so great when I'm trying to make this look like perfect. Yeah, I didn't like that. Okay, let's try this again. Oops, might have to grab this other piece that I have here. Is it the same? Yeah, it might have enough room on it. Yeah, that one looks a little better. Maybe let's try one more. I like that one better. Okay, perfect. Well, not perfect, but perfect as it's going to get right now. Okay, and then I just kind of cut it with a slight line. I didn't want it perfectly green with the pine. I wanted it to have just a smidge of a border on it. What's nice is when you've got one of these stamps that's pretty solid with the words, you can, even though I had messed up with the block, you can use it still. There we go. Okay. So this one, super duper simple because it's only this word. I wanted to leave it to where I could use it as, you know, like maybe just even cut it and put it like a picture right up to here. Or I could put a picture on here if I wanted to. I wanted a few different options for that. And then I just need to kind of start that there, and then I'm going to trim off this end. So that one's super duper simple. It's going down a little bit on its evenness or levelness. There, it's a little better. Okay, so there's that one. And the next one is even simpler because this is the only one I'm using a sticker on. I don't have a full sheet here. I just had this one left over. And so I was trying to kind of go off of what I had here. I thought about cutting this Discover Yourself and the trees. I also like, this is my sign to take a walk because I could just take a walk. So I am eyeing those. Loving this view is a little big here. Out in nature was a little too bright. And I looked at this one too. I also thought about the tags, but I didn't want to get too like tall and too much going on my first try at these. So I was taking it a little more cautious. So all I'm going to do is flag this end. And then I'm going to put this right here. And I liked the contrast with that. I thought it looked really nice with this kind of a, it's more of a toffee color, but it's kind of like a cork or a wood grain. Okay. So that one's, I mean, we've already done 4. Okay, so then this one takes a little bit more. And I did mess up on this a smidge. I'm going to set this over here. And this one. Okay. I know I have both of those on there right now. So what I need to do over here is be extra careful and make sure that I don't get any ink up on this area because I got a little smidge there. So I was thinking about putting a bird there, but I haven't gone to look for a bird stamp. And I wanted to keep this true to just what I could use out of the packet. Okay, so we've got a tree, and then I'm going to offset it. And so it gives us another look of trees behind. And then I'm just going to kind of just keep going. And just keep offsetting. Not make it perfect with the height as the same. You know, go up and down because you want to have that difference. It gives it a lot more depth. Oops. There we go. Okay, and I got a little boo-boo right there. So perfect place for a bird if you have one. I'm just going to wipe that one. That one is a stinker. Okay. And then I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to ink up this one. It says, some views are worth every step. And I love this font and how this just feels with this. This could actually be something where you were to cut it and use this at the bottom and use this at the top of a picture. A lot of different options with this. Even just cutting this out, you know, like we do with other Picture My Life cards, just kind of cutting this and flagging it would be really nice too. Okay, but if you do this one, be really careful with the tree stamp because it just does what it wants to do. Okay, so now I have these little guys. And is this the one? Yes. Okay. So I have that, and then I have this large piece right here that I'm going to flag this end. Okay. And this is the pine color. I'm sorry, I have ink all over me with the burlap on the back, and we're using the pine. It's got little tiny bird feet prints, footsie prints. Okay, and so this one right here says this view. A lot of pine on this, but I felt it just kind of worked really well since it's more pine up in here. I hope I went down even on this. I wasn't paying attention. So hopefully, yeah, it looks pretty good. For not paying attention, I did awesome. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside for a second. And I'm going to grab this little guy. And let me see here. I've got some bits over here, and I wasn't good when I tossed them over to the other side. I was somewhat okay. Not perfect. Okay, so what I'm using actually here, I guess I should show you, is when I cut these 4x6 and the other one's 3x4, I had one of these that I used that was 3x4 and I didn't use the other one. I am using that for majority of these pieces. So it's all pretty much on that one sheet aside from the burlap. And I'm getting quite a bit out of this sheet and loving it. I love this one right here. So I need mocha and I need the arrow. Love this arrow. I'm so glad that we have this arrow. Okay, and on that one, I'm going to take and color it with the light and I tend to be like, not necessarily like other people are like, oh, you know, leave a little white space. I have a hard time with that one. Okay, so I've got light, and now I'm going to go with where these little dashes are for shadowing with the dark. And then I'm just going to go kind of along that same area with the medium. And then I'm going to go back over it with the light and kind of blend everything in. Okay. And then I'm going to trim just with a smidge of the paper showing. One of them I cut right on the line, and I just didn't care for it as much on this one, which is interesting because normally I'm more like, oh, let's cut it right close. But yeah, this one I thought needed a little bit more definition on it. Let's just make sure, because it kind of has that little arc. Okay, put this away. So we've got this view, we've got this, and so I'm going to just apply some adhesive to these pieces. Again, I'm keeping most of this pretty low. The arrow right there is popped. I have my pop tape. At least I had my pop tape. It was right next to me. I promise. There it is. It's under the pile. Oh, I'm going to... Where's my scissors? Right in front of me. I'm going to kind of cut this. This arrow is a little more rounded. I'm going to put 3 little pieces of pop tape. I have just found out that this pop tape has been discontinued, so I'm excited to see what new products we're getting. Also, that Picture My Life cards were discontinued. I just got the next catalog and there is none in there, and so I texted my upline and said, hey, are Picture My Life cards being discontinued? And she said yes. So hopefully they will have a replacement for that. If not, I'm going to kind of keep doing some of this and try to, see, I want that a little bigger, and kind of try to make my own when I need them. Or just to have fun, because honestly, this has been a blast. Okay, so let's trim that. Okay, so, oh, I forgot to do this little bit. Okay, pine real quick, and something I can do while that's there. Not a biggie. Okay, there we go. Oh, I added actually a little more green, so let's just add a little more over there. Okay, so that's that one. Like I said, these are really simple. I think the pattern paper on this is so amazing that it's just making it so fun to do. Okay, so this one, we're going to be using this piece again. And let's see here. That is a different piece. Here it is. Okay. You know what? I think I want to add some green to that, some pine. Yeah, I like that. It's not as bright. Okay, so on this one, we are doing this same verbiage. I really liked it. And I actually had done this one first, but then I wanted it on the other one too. So I was like, well, you know, we have multiple layouts, so that works. Let me set that aside. And I want to go about right there. Okay. And then we've got this little trail piece. This is the only place I'm using Mink at. I'll need some more of that, yeah. And just kind of going over that, adding a little tiny bit of a trail since it says some views are worth every step. And set the Mink aside. And then I'm going to add some green pine to this because I really did like that. Okay. And then, let's see here. So I don't get that on me. I know I'm going to just keep opening it up and closing it. But that's better than getting it all over myself. Okay. I'm just going to kind of put that right about here and hope that I cut this well. I have one more piece that I can use as my backup. I did a good job. Yay! It's always nice when I do a good job. I will be cutting some of this down as well. Okay. Put the little trail. I mean, like, I'm using so many of these stamps. It's so fun. Okay, let's put this here. We just want to make sure that we've got enough that when we trim it, we still have the words. There we go. Isn't that cute? I'm very happy with that one. Okay, what do we have next? We've got a couple over here. I've got some bits. What have I got? Okay, so we've got that one, which 1, 2, and 3. And then we've got this one, which is this and, oh, this piece and this piece. Okay, so this one is the nature one. And then this is the tree. And I'm going to color these trees a little different because I liked the other way I colored them. So let's move that stuff up, and I'm going to just stamp this on here. There we go. Okay. So we're pretty much done with the verbiages. All I have left to do, so that one is pretty much as is over there. I just have to ink and color. Okay, make sure I'm where I'm at. Okay, so I am going to take the light and I'm going to color in all of these letters. It's nice because there's quite a bit of space on them. Okay, then I'm just going to take the dark and I'm going to start at the bottom and just kind of go up a smidge. You know, just try to keep it even on each one. Okay, and then we'll take the mid one and go up a little higher. Now this is an area where if you had the time and wanted to do it this way, you can do it this way, or you can blend them one by one. I didn't want to have to open the pen up for each one. So I'm just going to push a little harder and try to blend this. Because I'm using pattern paper for it, it's giving me a little bit of a resistance, but not too bad. Had I done it one letter at a time, it would have blended a lot easier. But you just want to kind of go back over it. It will blend, just give it some time and, you know, kind of rub it a little bit. Just make sure you don't push too hard that you will rip the paper. Because again, this is very saturated. Okay, so we've got that, and now we've got, nope, these pieces. Sorry. Oh yeah, see, it's really saturated. I'm going to add some pine to this. And that'll kind of help with that little bit of a bleed. Probably should have stamped that and then came back to it later. That is another thing you can do, is just stamp it, come back later, and kind of play with it. So this one, I cut this at 1 inch, and I cut this at 1 inch, and then I punched them with my banners Pick-a-Punch. I've got this one right here. It does this. And what I did was then cut this in half, because I wanted it to be kind of like this. So then I'm just kind of measuring it. Oops, it's not perfect. So let's go here and there. There, much better. And then I'm just going to add some more adhesive on this. And then we'll do step 2. This one is the most detailed out of all of them. And it's because I did those trees. So we're going to grab some of this masking tape. And looks like I got a little bit of gunkies on there. We're going to use the intense black on this one. And you know what? I might have used the intense black on the nature. I bet I did, because it looks a lot cleaner on the other one I did. So we're just going to stamp this tree here. And then I'm going to move that up here, because I want to keep this kind of ground area looking the same. Okay. Set those aside. Okay, so on the tree, we're just going to take the dark and add that down here. And what I like about using the black is you can still see those lines through it. Just lightly color. You don't have to, you know, be perfect. Just kind of go down to the ground. There. Okay. So that's all we need for that one. And now we're going to color a ton. So on this one, I just colored all of them with the dark. And this one, I'm going to blend it. I liked it a lot better. Honestly, I like the light better too, but I know that the colors for this paper are a little darker, so adding it a little darker is perfect if I'm mixing this with other things of this paper. So we're just getting this all wet. Get it wet. Okay, and we're only working on one at a time. Do not work on both of them at the same time. It will not be beneficial. It won't blend as easy. You'll have to rub it like you did with the letters, but since this space is a lot bigger, it will take a little more rubbing and it might rip that paper. Okay, so there's the dark. Now let's go in with the medium. Usually when I make my pens make that sound, I'm like, oh, I need to replace my pen. But it still feels like there's quite a bit of ink in here. It's just really a loud pen. That looks so much better to me than this one. See the difference? I'm very happy with that one. Okay, now let's do this next one. I'm just kind of going in a circular pattern. I find sometimes that's a little more relaxing too. Okay, now let's add that mid color. And go back with the light. And use that to kind of go out a little bit on some of those areas that I didn't go clear to the edge. It just kind of blends it in nicely. Okay. So not too, I mean, it wasn't too drastic of coloring, but, well, let's put this on real quick and then I will hold those up. And you can see, I'm pretty sure I used black on that because this other one is blended kind of funky dunk. So let's put that to about there. And cut that. Okay, well, so I like this one better for this piece, and I like this one better for the trees. The trees are so much better. But they're still fun. Still really fun. I really feel, you know, good about both of these, honestly. I would use them. Let's put it that way. Okay, so this piece right here, I decided I wanted to cut these little stamps. Let me grab the paper. And I was going to use it with the stamp piece on it, but cutting those out is not fun. I wish it had a die that we could cut those out. I don't believe the card, I think the card has a die, but I don't think it's the right size. You know what, I didn't even look, so sorry if it is. But I ended up just cutting around the stamped image to give me these little rectangles. And this one is not the correct one. Let me look over here. Find it. There you are. Okay. So I just kind of took these little guys and kind of moved them around. It looks like these are very similar. On here, I was able to kind of find one that had the greenery in the center, like this is on the edge. So this is the same one. Let me grab my paper pack. And what's this one? That one's not. Set those over there. Let's find the stamps. Okay, let's see if we can find this other one that has the greenery more in the center. Here it is, right here, I bet. Yep, it's right there. Okay, so we're just going to cut that out. Yeah. I know, I'm looking at it going, no, that's not it. Yes, that's right. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Sorry about that. My brain is going back and forth. Okay, so I'm just going to trim it. Get this cut out. And then I'm going to stand them up next to each other because I want them all the same height. Looks good. And then on this one, I will add some adhesive. Okay, and I'm going to add adhesive to this one. Oh, we need this little base too. And then this one. I'm just going to center this on here. And then we're going to start with the tree because it's over on the left-hand side. It looks better with it being there rather than like in the center because there's not the other part of the tree, so it would look a little off. And I just want to kind of center these on here. Leave a little bit of area. And then the next one, we'll put this one. And it feels, because of the mountains, it just makes it kind of feel like you've got this rolling hill picture. And I was very happy with how this turned out. At first I was concerned, but I was happy when I finished it. Looks like I kind of went up a little bit on that one. Let's make sure that we can make these even. Okay, let's look over here. Fits pretty good. I actually think I need to move them over a smidge, but we'll do that in just a sec. Let me grab the pine ink. Going a little darker. Okay, and let's take this and put this on, and then I'm going to trim it, and then I will rearrange those little guys once I have this on here. Yeah, it needs to be over a little tiny bit, and that's it. This would be a great place to use like your T-square. I just don't have it down on my desk right now. Okay, so this created its own little thing. And then we've got this one, and we're just going to tear it towards ourselves like that and use this as a little piece of washi tape. So everything's pretty flat. The only thing, like I said, was popped up was the, let's see here, let's go back over these, was that one word. So we've got the nature. We've got some views are worth every step. This is the only thing that was popped. It's this view. We've got some views are worth every step on this format. We've got my happy place. We've got slowing down has its perks. I really do like that one too. We've got this little journaling tag or journaling spot, worth the pause. And then this one that has the scenery on it. And so we made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 journaling cards. And the only reason why it's 9 is because I did use that extra piece as my paper on things. So that was why I did that. But 9 journaling cards, it was a lot of fun. So I hope if you have this paper, you of course would have gotten the stamp set with it because it came with it. So this is very doable for anybody who actually got this set of paper. Okay, you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and play today. Please like and subscribe if you would like to see more of my videos. Leave a comment and have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.